What's good, it's your boy NLG and welcome back to the channel. Gonna be speaking on the latest with Arsenal news. To be honest, there's not even too much to talk about. Just wanted to come and say hi. It's been a long week. I've actually just returned to work. I was out of office on a bit of a retreat in Ireland last week, was relaxing. And then the Gyokeres news broke and I had to hop back on. When news like that breaks, you gotta just break the news and tell the people, have a chat about it. And that was an incredible week. Obviously won our second game in Singapore. But to be fair, the biggest news is that I've got a crispy new webcam. Hopefully this should be 4K res, right, to your retinas. And yeah, trying to, improve the quality of these videos. So please help me by smashing a like and hitting the sub to be a part of the NLG fam. And yeah, just want to talk about a couple of things to do with Arsenal today and get into the conversation, people. But I wanted to start on a bit, firstly, shout out to the Lionesses. We're going to start with the Lionesses. Shout out to the Lionesses. We've always been speaking about it's coming home, it's coming home. It's come home back to back. The Lionesses won the Euros 2025 after their win in 2022, defending it. Shout out to Serena Weigmann. And also shout out. Also, I don't know if anyone saw actually the video of Serena with Alex Scott and the whole team. And they were saying they're going to bring out Serena's favourite music artist. And it was Burna Boy. And she was singing on stage with Burna Boy, which I thought was just super wholesome. But just wanted to say big up to the Lionesses, especially the Arsenal women players. There's so many of Arsenal's players that had such a massive part in this tournament. Whether it's Russo, Chloe Kelly, Michelle Adjaman, young player of the tournament. Alessia Russo, Wibben Moy, Beth Mead. We have so many ballers in this squad that play for Arsenal that have really taken the team. And there were so many countless other players in the team that you've got to rate. Leah Williamson, captain. Had to leave the best for last. Leah Williamson, the defending display she put on in that game against Spain. Incredible. So shout out to the Lionesses. And on that, as we're speaking about the Lionesses, I've got to mention this idiot. I came across a tweet. I'm going to bring it up now. I came across a tweet. To be fair, I don't even like the fact I'm mentioning the guy. But we have to speak about it. Joey Barton, the idiot. Well done to the Lionesses winning the nonsense pottery trophy. This is what he had to say. Those penalties were borderline embarrassing again. Don't ever ask for equal pay again. Use our miles off it. Now, just to take that tweet in isolation before he gets absolutely murdered by Lewis Espinal. Do you have no decorum, no respect, no common decency, no eyes? You have literally won nothing in your career. Nothing of note. You have done nothing in your career. Yeah? England haven't brought it home for how many years? The Lionesses went and did that. Don't doubt the technical quality of these women. And also, for being such... I can't believe you're such a sexist, racist bigot. There's so many other words that we could use for you. Do you have no women in your family that you respect enough not to come out and be such a sexist idiot? Honestly, I'd like to use harsher words, but don't want to get this video blocked. To be fair, Joey Barton doesn't even deserve an ounce of anybody's time. But my word, I can't hack the guy. It's unfortunate that Twitter is a freedom of speech platform led by another idiot, Elon Musk, because honestly, that you should just be reported and banned off all socials at this point because I can't stand the guy. But what was the best thing about that tweet was the response from Lewis Espinal, who said, "Mental how you've been to court more times than you've been to Wembley during your playing career." And that was a mic drop. And then the quote tweet on that saying, "There's been a murder." And there has been. Joey Barton, get in the bin in a bit. Moving on from that. Sorry. I just had to chat about that. Honestly, I had to chat about that because it's this tweet. Again, mental how you've been to court more times than you've been to Wembley during your playing career. Bars, absolute bars, and there has been a murder. Joey Barton again, get in the bin. The only team or any person that's won a nonsense pottery trophy is you. That's the only trophy you've left with in your career. Useless guy, get out of here. Anyway, enough of Joey Barton. Let's speak about Victor Gyokeres, the big marquee signing of the summer. He's had his first Arsenal training session and supposedly scored a hat-trick in training. Now, obviously, it's training. We're not recording goals here, but it's good to see he still has his shooting boots, and hopefully he's ready to get a solid 45 minutes under his belt against Tottenham in Hong Kong. So super looking forward to seeing him play. They've sold out all the seats for Arsenal versus Tottenham. And what a first pre-season game to play in a North London derby of sorts. I'm sure it will be a physical game, but yeah, he's going to be ready and raring to go just to show what he can do. So I'm super excited to see him play, and let me know what you think. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, well, who would have thought? Victor Gyokeres has broken Arsenal's shirt sales record. And look, we know how big of a signing this is. His celebration, the goals he scored, 52 goals in 54 games last season. Everything about him has screamed he's just going to be such a big signing. And I hope he delivers. But it's great to see he's selling shirts as well. I was even this close to buying a shirt with his name on the back. I might even still do it because they're doing some promotion. And yeah, man, I prefer kits with no names on the back. But he's just one of them signings. I think Saka and him are two players, and maybe Rice actually, maybe three players that I feel like I would get a name on the back. And also maybe Russo or Chloe Kelly, by the way. I honestly love those players. But I haven't had a name on the back in years, but maybe this will be the first one. So Gyokeres doing the business off the pitch, helping the club sell shirts. And hopefully he'll do the business on it this season. I'm sure he will. All right. I wanted to speak about, I don't know where this has gone to now, because I just had it a second ago. Sorry, people, I need to find it. 2 seconds. I literally just had the tweet. That is annoying. There was a tweet basically discussing Leao and Leao Eze Rodrigo. Here it is. So, we all know we need a left winger this summer, right? We all know we need one. It's what we've been crying out for. We've got the big striker in. Now it's time for us to focus on a left winger that can change the game for us. We've seen in preseason players like Trossard have done great, played well. He's great off the bench in games. He can impact things. Martinelli's been decent as well. But we need a player that can unlock defenses. We've seen already in preseason, teams can kind of cipher us with a low block. We saw it in the first half against Newcastle. Things were a bit slower until we brought on your Rices, your Odegaards. But which one of these left wingers, let's say there were no restrictions, but you could only buy one of these players, which one would you go for? And I like the way this tweet broke it down. So let's head back over to Twitter. So, okay, let's start with Rodrigo. Tactically intelligent, wide forward, moves in the half spaces, links well with midfield and makes sharp off-the-ball runs, silent but deadly. And I think this is one thing that's really good about Rodrigo. We don't see it enough from Arsenal. An example of it most recently was actually in the pre-season friendly where Saka got his goal against Milan and Trossard, was it Trossard or no, Trossard laid the ball off to Kivior who swung the ball back post and Saka was hanging back post and hit the ball, kind of scuffed the ball in. But we don't make enough of those runs. We had a couple of those goals from Martinelli. We don't have enough of those runs that kind of are really sharp off the ball where we can find players. And I don't think Odegaard's able to leverage his left foot enough to find those off the ball runs. So maybe Rodrigo is a better fit. Or would you prefer Leao? We saw him against Arsenal in pre-season and also against Liverpool, the goal he scored. Just strolled past Van Dijk, roasted it left foot into the goal. Super explosive, thrives on open space, can stretch defenses. Is that the better way to unlock? Honestly, I think Leao is an absolute baller. I'd take him any day. You saw Curtis Shaw asking him to come to Arsenal, asking if he'll come to Arsenal. But he's chaos and raw, but not raw in the way I feel like Martinelli can be sometimes. He keeps his head up. He knows where the danger is and knows how to exploit space. And I think that can just unsettle and stretch defenses a bit. That can allow players like Rice, Odegaard and Saka to explore with more space if you have someone like him. And then there's Eze. Someone who I think has a bit of he is a bit more, what would you call it? He's a bit more cultured with the way he plays. He has more tempo and guile, I'd say. Yeah, he's more cultured, can play between the lines. He's more of a 10 if you ask me, 10 and 8, but he can play on the wing. And I think he would provide so many options for us really to exploit teams. He'd be able to weave in and out of defenders. And honestly, I'm probably more geared towards either super explosive in Liao, because I feel like Saka's more of a cultured winger as well, or towards Eze. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Which one of these 3 signings would you be taking at the club if you could vote for your pick? And then, honestly, the last thing to talk about on Eze, to be fair, there's not really been any news regarding Eberechi Eze. Like, the only thing we've heard was the last thing from Fabrizio. There's not really been any developments. We remain in contact with his camp since June, and Eze is keen on the move. We've heard he's told family he's going to Arsenal, but there's been no club-to-club talks, and apparently we're waiting on outgoings. And I think Reece Nelson will be the one to move next, apparently on a loan with an option to buy to Fulham. I think a permanent would have been more preferred. Reece Nelson needs minutes. He's a talented player, but just won't be able to get those minutes at Arsenal. But hopefully we can see a couple of outgoings and get Eze or whoever it is. But I hope it is Eze, man. His story, the fact he's a Highlander, left at 13, or was let go at 13 rather. Won the FA Cup with Crystal Palace. Everything is screaming the return arc for Eberechi Eze. Like, I mean, let me know down below, but to me, everything is screaming the return of Eberechi Eze to Arsenal. But let me know who you prefer. Look, that's it from me. Appreciate you lot listening along. Been waffling. Hope you've been enjoying the new crispy quality. And yeah, I'll catch you lot in a bit. Peace.